Alex will be here in a second. Huh? What? Oh, Pep is like really struggling. I don't know what's going on. Let's just hide that for now. You cry for like 10 seconds until you get a new until you get more points, Glow. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Sergeant Pepper. Application error. Something went wrong, I guess. Good thing the creator is back in town. Hello, Ms. Roy. We may be depending on you for artisanally crafted tiny nudges. Hey, Ira. The magic of makeup. I have a few yes/no questions that I think that I'm ready for answers for, but I'll wait until Alex is here. She should be down shortly. Oh, what's going on with my hair? How's it going, everyone? Hello, 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 Crystal. Hello, Ms. Ray. Hello, Ira. How's your day been? Comes Alex.
Quick, everyone stop talking about me.
Pepper is having a day.
Oh, what kind of day?
This kind of a day.
Oh.
So.
Excuse me one moment.
But we don't need to fix it immediately.
Well, but Sarge is in trouble. Sarge.
Glow says I had a good evening. I played Bug Fables with Nebby. That sounds fun.
Hello, Crystal. Hello, Glow. Hello, Ira. Hello, Mrs. Roy. Hello, not Sergeant Pepperbot. What's going on here?
Everyone is saying hi.
Hi, hi, hi. Hi, hi, hi.
Crystal notes that it looks like she's being yelled at when people at her, because it's in caps now.
Oh.
And Ms. Rose said if I were yelling at you, I'd be using your full name, Crystal Nadine Bill.
I hope you all didn't miss me too much.
They had to put up with Celeste and Spin Rhythm.
Oh no, so
while you were gone.
What torture.
Should I show the carousel now, or?
I'm still logging in to my. App crashed. Ooh, look at this.
Can you save him?
I don't know. I can. I know what I can do. I know what I can do.
The robot version of CPR. Ms. Roy, I guess I would refund your points is what would happen. Same with certain other redeems that are only Alex applicable. Hello, Hero! We're on the big puzzle at the end, so... are you in the same place? Have you solved it already? We found the 12 thingies. Which one? We found the 12 thingies, and we went in the thing, and we showed up in the place, and the thingies have shown up when we do the thing, and we're not sure. Hi, Kevin. Thank you. We're like in the end game. We're trying to figure out this last, I think, last thing. The end game. Yeah, Ms. Roy has it. We're trying to solve a puzzle, and I can't tell if I'm hugely overthinking it or hugely underthinking it. Yes. We're at the Tower of Glyphs, and I don't know if it's way more complicated than I think it is, or if it's way less complicated than I think it is.
Or way differently complicated than you think it is.
Yeah, I could be just completely wrong.
Unsing the greatest song.
We have some ideas for what it could mean.
We don't know if those ideas are right.
Did you do it, Hero? You had trouble with this one. Yeah, we've tried a few things, and it hasn't been yielding results. We know how to basically interact in the area.
Damn, Glow, that was freaking fast.
Savage. Hey, we got a carousel.
And Yeti picking up the second.
Nice.
Alright. I fixed him. Ish.
Okay, this is your spoiler warning. Whoever may be here and does not want to see spoilery things in Tunic.
Too late.
Now is your chance to go.
You've already seen the same menu. You've already seen too much. Now
I got to watch Gabe do the page 9 thing.
Yeah. It's good.
He liked it, yeah.
It's good. It's very good.
Okay, I'm loading the game.
Did Redhead get a pepper money? You mean one of these?
Right. Ooh.
One of... Wait, where is he? One of... These?
Right, so we know how to make the things show up. And we're not... We have a few ideas about... So the basic assumption here is that we have to use the golden path.
Hey, Atagoat. I'm back. Oh, thank you.
We have to use the golden path in some interpretation of it to get it to read out something. And what I'm not sure of is whether we need to read it at every step or just at the last step. What, you don't have it memorized?
No, I'm just wondering if it makes... Whether it still continues to just harmonize with the music, or whether it... Doing the arrows changes anything, but it doesn't seem to.
I think it's just harmonizing.
With the music, yeah.
Right. So, some interpretation of the golden path put it in, read something that will tell us what to do next. The problem is that all the different ways that I've thought of... Wait, what? Was it a lot of work to do, Kevin? Once I noticed it, I really appreciated it. So it turned out really well. Have something to say about that later. Wait, so the harmonizing prayer thing actually does have something to do with this? Oh my god, you had to implement every single change manually one by one for 80 plus tracks?
Damn.
Holy shit. That's insane. I figured if it got to that point, it would probably just be scrapped. That's amazing. That makes me appreciate it so much more. I figured it was doing it like, I don't know, algorithmically. Yes, it does sound amazing. It really does. That's wild. Like, and in theory, someone could hold prayer through the entire song. For every sound, every track, and what?
I made an empty one.
Yeah, we've seen empty ones before. So it basically means what? You had to like compose another track for the prayer to sing with everything else through any song anywhere. Oh my god. Kevin Rhythmic Process. Okay, so like I was saying, the thought is to interpret the golden path somehow, put it in, and have it read out something that tells us what to do. The problem is that all the interpretations that we've tried using for the golden path have resulted in invalid characters.
Or
like characters,
gibberish.
Or just, like, or even if we do get all valid characters, like, it doesn't make sense in any order, in any, like, starting wherever, going in either direction. I haven't, like, exhaustively tried ordering the syllables arbitrarily, because I don't see anything telling us, like, how to order them, and it didn't, like, look like they were syllables that could make words, you know?
So what we've tried so far is we've tried just inputting the golden path in the normal way.
Yeah.
We've tried inputting it backwards, as in starting from the middle and going to the outside.
Right, also inverting all the inputs.
We've
also going backwards and inverting all the inputs. Also, we tried going, like, as if we were, like, first person, like, in the maze. Like, because the part of the clue that's, like, as seen from within, we're not really sure how to interpret that. Like, to, like, imagine that you're, like, walking the golden path. So it's like, turn left, turn right, go forward, turn left. That did not...
As opposed to, like, go east, go north, go south.
Right, but that one did result in some things that were almost, like, words.
The symbols were valid, but it just didn't...
Well, there was the one that you did where, like, you got, like, each, sigh, the...
Yeah.
So this one is, like, Z, J... No, yeah, Z, J, L, Vor, the, Sai, each, Fu, Kai, I've, Ngu, Me. So what makes me really skeptical about this one being an actual phrase is when it's like the consonant ng and then a vowel, like it's not inverted. There just aren't really many possible words
that have that.
That could have that. Most of the time, rather than like any word that would have that would instead have the syllable end in N and the next syllable start with G. So it's not like things, it just wouldn't be written that way. The really complicated process held together by digital duct tape, but it makes for an awesome end result.
Speaking of complicated, speaking of a complicated process,
yeah,
I don't know what to do next.
I'm not really sure what to try. So I'm kind of ready to ask. So Mizroy has looked up the answer, so that we have someone who can gently nudge us in the right direction,
guide us away from our folly,
without spoiling it altogether. Because I do not want to like look it up and potentially see more information than I need to actually solve it. And Mizroy has been around for a really long time and knows what kinds of like I think I would trust Mizroy over most. Like, you know, there are a few other like OG followers who would know like the tiniest amount of information that would be needed to get me to get to the right conclusion. Yeah, exactly. Having a secondary, like having another person
or
able
even
to just like look it up and be like, okay, it's something stupid. Like you can get this, but like
or even just to say like, this is a huge potentially rabbit hole you're going down. Just like
don't
cut that off. You can,
yeah.
You can like keep going there forever, but you're gonna waste your time.
Well, okay, Ira, not everyone, but like the people who follow me like for puzzle game reasons. Certification is just, this person is capable of giving hints in Outer Wilds.
There's a small handful of people in the world who I trust with that kind of power.
Exactly.
Mizroy is one of them.
So I think these are my yes or no questions that I think I want the answer to. Do I need to write down all the sigils like every step of the way if upon entering something? Is it some interpretation of the Golden Path? Like, am I just completely, drop the idea of building the glyphs in 3D space? Oh, you put away the things. We took... So the kids have this, fort building set, which is basically, like, sticks and, like, balls that go on the ends of the sticks, and you can, like, make...
Like a frame.
A shape for, like, a fort.
Like a blanket fort.
Right. We may or may not have pulled out those.
Yes. I was like standing on top of the couch holding it up at the right angle so we could look down on it, look up at it, tilting it.
I mean, it doesn't work exactly because like these are isometric, so like it isn't really what things would look like in real life 3D space.
Well, if you get the angle right.
No, because there's no things, like things don't get smaller the farther away they are.
Yeah, they do, don't they?
No, they do not. Isometric 3D games, that is like the property of isometric view, is that there isn't like things are smaller in the distance. Okay, so that was my, so is it the goal, like is it some interpretation of the Golden Path, or are we completely off the mark, and then the other question was, when we get the correct, if we have done something correctly, will all the characters be valid? Like I want to be able to just immediately discard anything that results in invalid characters. Because that's kind of like the assumption that I've been making, but that's not necessarily the case if it's like you're supposed to read them from the side. Like you have these on the sides, they also are letters. Yeah. Like they also are valid characters.
But I think that's very different. That's very unlikely because the bar moves over to the right-hand side when you do
Not
that.
necessarily. It really depends on the characters. Like sometimes it ends up with it being wrong, and sometimes it's okay. So like it's not a like this one, for instance, over here on the right is now invalid because the the vowel, it doesn't exist.
Yeah, well, whatever bar is in the front moves to the right-hand side. Oh, I sat on the controller.
Okay, what? Oh my god, stop it!
It's my butt. My butt is playing Tunic.
Okay, so do you agree with getting answers to those questions, or do you want to have a specific hint given by Mizroy?
I think those questions are fine to have answered. I think I know the answer to all of them. Like, I'm pretty confident.
So, Mizroy, do I need to be recording some stuff every step of the way? is it something to do with the golden path? Like I'm supposed to enter in a sequence of inputs that is derived from the golden path. And can I get rid of any idea that results in invalid symbols? Those are my 3 questions I actually do want yes or no answers to. So it is some permutation of the golden path. You do not need to take down characters for all steps, just the last one. Based on my understanding of the answer, the true path will result in valid phonemes in all spaces. Okay. So our basic understanding of the puzzle is correct. That we need to interpret the golden path somehow, input it, and read the result. The problem is that there are a lot of ways to think about how to put it in, and it's 100 steps. So like you have to, it takes a while to, and you might have, like, maybe you did one wrong, like, so
yeah, that's
a matter of like trying and retrying.
That's the real danger, is that we did the right thing and then made a mistake.
Got rid of it because,
and we're like, no, that's not right, and then you never revisit it. That's
3 has a caveat that will be obvious when you see it. Okay.
The true path will result in valid phonemes in all spaces.
Okay, like possibly there will be like a blank one or something, which may like be how we know where to start reading. Because like putting in the golden path the normal way, I think gets us like all but one. Yeah, I'll do it. I have it written. Look at what I did.
That's too small. That's too small.
So I have starting from the outside with the path upside down. Starting from the inside with the path inside, right? Oh god, why? Because I don't know what to do. Okay. Starting from the outside, right side up is the normal golden path, okay?
Thank you, Ms. Roy.
Okay. I feel like I'm playing DDR, and now I want someone to make a DDR track that is the golden path.
Oh my god!
To some track from this game.
That would be amazing.
Okay, so this is valid. This is valid. This is valid. This is questionably valid. No, this one is fine. This one is fine. This one is fine. This is not valid. This is fine. This is the one where it's like, how would you say this? Because this is, I always forget my vowels, so I have them written down now. This one is ngr. Like, that's not, like, I'm pretty sure that, so there are English words that have that, like N-G-E-R, like finger or singer, right? But I think that that wouldn't be written that way. Like, it would be fe, and then n, or yeah, fe, and then n by itself, and then gur, you know? You know, I don't think that it would be written as fe, nger.
When Miss Ray writes it that way, I'm like, well, am I reading Welsh? Is that what I'm looking at here? So it looks like Welsh. Anyway, so this is almost all valid.
Almost all valid.
But a little bit weird.
Right.
And it also disregards everything in the clue about
I know. Well, but the thing is, it's possible that we're supposed to take whatever this is and do something related to the rest of the clue, right? So this one results in
Negative
phrase
vowels.
is
You start with a sentence with no vowels, and then you take some vowels away.
I have this one written. I think. Yeah, this one is if we start with the door, right? I don't know. When we come out, it puts us here. So I'm not sure which is the correct way. This is cho. Wa. Ka. Shore. Se. Veer. This is not valid. This is M. This is sure. This is Ju. This is ro. And this is okay, so I have issues with this one because that vowel is in the booklet. It is here. It is one of the vowels listed. I have never seen it in any page of the manual. Like, none of the text in the game uses that vowel. And I can't think of what that vowel would be, like, in English. They're like, it could be like in French, but it's not, I don't know. It's none, it isn't a vowel that makes sense to me. I have no examples of it. So, like, technically this is a character that can exist if you use this as your key, but I don't know what it says.
It's a forbidden vowel sound, yeah.
So
The vowel sound known only to God.
I don't think this is the
Correct answer.
correct answer. Because this one character being invalid is not an obvious caveat to me. You know? Okay, so we tried all four of these, and none of them. I think one of them did result in them all being accurate, all being valid, but like again, it was not. It was like na ze ord jo fo ak jai dir ve ha ngo har. Like that's not. That isn't words. So. Right. So that was that. And then I'm kind of stumped on how else to try the path.
Yeah,
we tried the looking from looking at it from a first person perspective.
Left turns, right turns.
Yeah.
We tried left turns, right turns starting from the outside. Left turns, right turns starting from the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Northeast, southwest starting from the outside. Northeast, southwest starting from the inside. Northeast, southwest starting from the outside inverted. Northeast, southwest starting from the inside inverted.
Yeah. And this is a ton of guess and checking, so I feel like there's just something more obvious that we're not considering, which is why I think that I'm ready for a nudge.
A nudge?
Yeah. So, Ms. Roy, if you think you can tell me something, like the smallest bit of information that will get me on the right track would be ideal.
There's just so many different things to try, and it takes so long to check, and it's just kind of like stabs in the dark. Like, I don't know. I don't have any idea why one of these ideas would work and not another one.
Yeah. Like, crafting a response.
Okay. Excellent.
So, like, let me look again at the phrase.
Unsing
to them
the greatest song, the song of the golden path, as seen from within.
So, the golden path in the book does have a thing at the bottom. This says the golden path, the greatest spell. So I don't know if that is the fact that here is called the greatest spell, and in that other hint it's called the greatest song. Like, I don't know if that's just
flowery language.
You know, like it's poetic or whatever.
Or if there's
if there's something that we're supposed to glean from that, like to turn this from a spell into a song. Ah.
The song of the greatest. So this presumably means the Golden Path is the greatest spell. The greatest song is the song of the Golden Path.
Right.
So the greatest song is the song of the greatest spell.
But I don't know what a song is.
It's like when you like have music and sometimes there's words. Did you miss me? Did you miss me while I was gone? Spell also has like the double meaning of like a magic spell, but also
okay, Mr. says you may wish to review what you know about Holy Cross puzzles.
Interesting. That's a very interesting hint.
Use the power of the Holy Cross to traverse the Golden Path.
So we did that. We got ending B.
The Ruin Seeker. Begins to
Understand
the Holy Cross. Much of hidden. Wait, much is hidden in these. No, in this. Much is hidden in this world. Bound behind the power of the Holy Cross. Prove to those who gave of their core that you know of it. Deeply.
What's this word? What's this word here?
Follow the golden path.
Follow the golden path. Review what you know about Holy Cross puzzles.
This says upon the Upon the vaults?
Vaults?
Vaults.
Are you sure?
Yeah, that's the No, it's not. You're right. You're right. You're right. It's the vaults. Upon the vaults. Wait, open, not upon. Open the vaults. Left to help. Wise ruin seekers.
This has
Free
to do with fairies.
the souls that stayed behind to guide you and receive their gifts.
Gift. Follow the golden path.
And this says the monolith in Overworld.
So, review what we know about holy cross puzzles. So some holy cross puzzles are solved by inputting a sequence with the D-pad or arrow keys.
Yeah.
Many of them start by following a path starting at a diamond. They're often symmetrical, and you can solve either side of them.
So, do we imagine that this actually has a mirror and do that? Because then that would mean the up-down inputs are the same, but the left-right inputs are inverted.
That's an interesting idea.
Can you do that just from reading left and right backwards?
I can try.
No, this is starting inside, right side up.
Oh, this way.
Yeah.
Assuming I didn't make any mistakes.
Okay. Let me just... I'm just gonna write and then...
You don't want to do a quick spot check first? For any obvious... Whoa. This is a bare vowel?
This is just ba. This is just
No, this is not just ba.
Oh. Well, it depends on if it's... Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's fine. Bare vowels are fine.
This is a bare
Yeah, that's...
TH?
yeah.
Or a bare NG?
Yeah. This is This is an ngr. Or a ngir or something.
Okay, so there's a few weird
They're
ones.
technically valid.
They're technically valid, but there's a bunch of weird ones in here. I don't have a high confidence in this.
Okay.
What else do we know about Holy Cross puzzles? So they're sometimes mirrored left to right. That's one thing we know. They often start at a diamond. This one doesn't start at a diamond, it starts at a circle. And it ends on page 55, also at a circle. We translated these bits, right?
Yeah.
Did they say anything interesting?
Not really, but I can look at them again. Wait, look at the ears. The top of the hair almost makes a letter.
So this goes circle to circle. There's no diamonds in this path. Can we do the fairy finding spell in here?
I think we tried it. Yeah, it's like Vir Ha Ja U B Mer Ger Ti Vir Roar. You want me to read that again?
The thing about the seeking spell?
Tiny. Hang on. False. Fairies? will be drawn along the small fold of local truth, the real fairy has created as a nest. And then you want me to read that or the one above it?
I want to look for.
There's also the thing that says Holy Cross at the end of it, the previous page. No, the previous...
I know. I want to look for. Where did it go? I want to look specifically for the words greatest, spell, and song.
What do you mean, look for them?
Like, does this use any of those words? Greatest spell or song? I don't see them. This says a speaking spell in English, but seeking spell. Hey, Duel. How are you?
You want me to read that?
I'm just skimming it.
A hidden fairy.
Is today not the greatest? Whoops. Not the greatest day?
A hidden fairy will always leave a
Dill, did you hear there's going to be a new Monkey Island game?
trace of magic nearby. They await a particular song.
Okay.
And listen for it. Eternally look around to find a secret spell hidden in the world. So song and spell are interchangeably meaning the sequences that you input
with the gold with the Holy Cross.
Yeah. This says free fairy. Fairy seals are tucked away in all kinds of all corners of the world. They look they lock themselves in gold
Hello, Dave Sasquatch. Yes, we are translating. We're scouring the manual for any references to spells, to songs, to anything that's the greatest.
Yeah, we're at the Tower of Glyphs. I'm reading. I can read, but I'm very slow, so I'm sorry how agonizingly painful this must be for everyone else. Chests, gold chests. Awaiting a clever ruin seeker who knows the power of Holy Cross. I'm fast with consonants, but the vowels mess me up because they're really hard to just like remember which segments of the hexagon.
Jewel, I know you like us, but there is no way you love us as much as you love Monkey Island 2. Like, that is not possible.
So we have tried. Okay, so we're here, Dave Squatch. If you have not seen this, then I suggest going elsewhere because I don't want to spoil anything. But maybe you've already solved this. Maybe you've done this. Maybe you've done as much as you want to do, and you're fine to see spoilers. We have tried entering. You finished the game last week, including this part. Because I feel like when people say they've finished the game, they could mean, like, okay, you solved this. We have had a few yes or no questions answered by people who know the answer. And one small nudge, which was revisit what you know about the Holy Cross puzzles. So we were revisiting the manual. We've tried... We think we have to enter the Golden Path with some kind of modification, like either backwards, upside down, mirror, first person view. We've tried a bunch,
but nothing we've tried has panned out so far.
A whole stream of getting nowhere. Yeah, we're there too.
Yeah.
So we've tried a few things. There's a couple of things that we've tried that have yielded valid syllables, but nothing that actually makes sense. Alex is fine, Duo.
Yeah, Alex or Lexi. Either one is fine.
This is stream 2. I think the first one was partly this, and then partly we started a new file. Because we didn't fight the air normally. we finished the manual, and so we couldn't fight her. So we were like, we want to see the results.
Wait, do you notice the Steins Gate timeline? Watch Jedi Games versus LucasArts versus Sarah? What? Excuse me, what? I have a very spicy take about the new Monkey Island game, but I don't know if I want to share it because I feel like I'll lose some friends.
Well, so we started work on New Game Plus, and then we were like, wait, how does this help? Because we still have the full manual. So
we started New Game Minus.
We started a New Game Plus Minus, which is not New Game Plus. No, we did. What do you mean we can reload and go fight her?
How does that work? We still have the full manual.
We still have the full manual, so won't it just automatically go to the cutscene?
Sierra's back in spirit. Oh man. It's the old adventure game wars. Revived.
It will give you a choice after the first one. Oh, okay.
We didn't know that. That's good to know.
Okay, I want to ask another question, which is basically, do we have the correct set of glyphs here, and we just need to read them correctly somehow? Are you cool with it? Okay, Ms. Roy. Vir haja umbi
No, there's no way.
eti vir roar.
There's no way that's right. There's no way.
Those, you'll know if you have it. Okay.
I figured.
Well, but so, like, I don't know where to start reading it, and I don't know what direction to go, is the thing.
But
you don't have the right side. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not mirroring it as if it's like the other side of a door, which was the latest idea.
And it's not starting at the beginning.
It's not starting at the beginning and doing it like normal. It's not starting at the end and going backwards. It's not doing inverted inputs in either direction. Okay, here, I'll ask this. Is it one of those things and we just did it wrong? like
it is possible.
hard to answer.
Yeah, it is hard to answer.
Okay, I mean, you haven't been here, Dave Squatch, but for the other people who have, the specific things that we have said, we are trying this now, have we made an error in inputting it the way that we intended to, and therefore resulted in the wrong glyphs?
I would trust a nudge from Harel.
Yeah, I've seen Harel in enough other Twitch chats in games that have the same kind of puzzle, and they've been good at, not being spoilery.
Yeah.
So yes,
This is Harel. This is explicit permission.
You can give us your tiny nudge.
We accept this. We accept this nudge.
Don't believe you have entered the glyphs incorrectly. Okay.
Unsing and From Within are distinct.
Okay. But that's kind of what we were trying, though. Like, with the whole, start at the end and invert all the inputs.
Start at the end and...
Okay, what about starting at the end and doing the other side of the door thing?
The left-right mirror?
Yeah. Okay?
Yeah, it's something to try. I don't know that it's, more compelling than anything else we've tried, but it's something new.
I have a test that I want to do elsewhere, actually.
Yes?
Let's go to... I have an idea.
It's nighttime, is that okay?
It's fine. Let's go to the one with... Where's that, really close? The first door. The door that's written in the one that's depicted in the manual. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's in the courtyard, but it's already open.
I know. I want to see if we can close it.
Do you want me to get you to the courtyard?
Shush.
You're going in the wrong direction.
What? It's down from here?
Yeah, it's south from here. Is it a drug test? Maybe.
This one, right?
Yes.
Okay. I want to unsing this.
Okay.
It didn't work. All right.
Thank
Close sesame. Yes, exactly.
Thank you, Miss Ray.
That is what I was trying to do, Dave. I was trying to say close sesame at the door. That did not work, but that doesn't necessarily mean that this won't work. The door thing.
Yeah, it's just that like there's so many different things that unsing can mean, and so
Okay,
many different
but
things.
we have a concrete.
We have a thing to try. We have a thing to try.
Oh, come on, where's the thing? Okay.
Start at the middle and do a left-right mirror.
Yeah.
Or start at the middle and do a complete inversion. I
No.
feel like we've tried that.
We've tried that. We've tried the complete inversion. I mean, just the left-right mirror. Okay. So this is starting from the inside, right side up path, but mirror the left and rights.
Okay.
There's a blank one.
So that's potentially promising. Although, want to see something even worse?
Oh shit. Okay, well we'll just maybe maybe there's separate words. Like maybe this is a period. That's the end.
Uh-huh.
And it starts here.
Uh-huh. Skeptical.
Go. Okay, hang on. I'm gonna. This is go.
Space.
Right? The space is actually pretty promising. This is do, but there's more. I'll just write it down and then translate. This is really promising.
Yeah?
Yeah.
If this is all one word, it's a long word.
It's not one word. It's a sentence. And then this is period, next sentence, go. I think. Okay. This says, the go is last, I'm pretty sure. Okay. This says, do you fear the eyes of the far shore? Go.
Do you fear the eyes of the far shore?
No, this is not go. This is not go. Co? Not go.
Co? Is that vowel right?
I can check, but I'm pretty sure it's co. Yeah, that's a co.
Co.
Co? Do you fear the eyes of the far shore? Okay, so the far shore is like the teleport place.
So many things you want to say, yeah.
Don't say it. We finally have some kind of
We're on to
progress.
something.
How do you pray in the keyboard?
Space.
Space? Co?
We may need to switch day-night, potentially.
Yeah, maybe. The eyes. I can double check the translation. I have the symbols written separately.
Keep in mind it's phonetic, so eyes could mean more than one thing.
Was this the one? To go back?
No, this one I think.
This one? Do you fear the eyes of the far shore?
The eyes have it.
Okay, I will double check everything. This is definitely do. This is definitely you. This is definitely fear. This is definitely the. Yeah, this is eyes. This is of. The. I mean, the far shore we've seen like a billion places, you know?
Yeah.
And then co. K-O?
There's also like these lines that come down here. You see them? The blue.
Yes.
You see how there's this like this one's longer and has like a tick off the side.
Okay, here's this really dumb idea.
Yeah.
KO, like knockout? Like, do you have to bomb yourself to death in this area?
That is a dumb idea. I like
You
it.
can put on the fire sword thing to get yourself to 1 health and then bomb yourself.
That's a really dumb idea. I love it. I love it.
I don't know. No. the house? Is that because the bed counts as like a shrine? It did not.
I don't know. It was just dumb enough that I'm like, this might work. This might just work.
Okay, you know when, I don't know if anybody else playing puzzle games has this experience. You know when you're stuck on something for a really long time, and then you finally, like, make the progress to get to the next step, and the next step is, like, not as hard, okay? But, like, your brain is so, like, hung up on the earlier difficult puzzle that, like, something that is obvious is suddenly, like, completely obtuse. Then you overthink the next step. Yes, exactly. Exactly, Dave Squatch. Standard extraction problem. Okay. Wait, why is the ghost...
I died out here too.
Oh, right.
Oh, but it's not KO. Like if it was like knockout, it would be like KO, not KO, right?
It's Ko.
KO.
Kodra!
Hey, Kodra.
Speaking of Ko...
Kodra. Thank you, Miss Roy, for getting the shout out. How are the Celeste? You were doing mod maps, right? How is that going?
And now I'm suddenly forgetting whether it's Kodra or Kodra. But I think it's Kodra. But correct me if I'm wrong.
But like there is some kind of pattern depicted here in the blue.
Yeah... But... What?
I don't know what. The eyes of the far shore.
Mindcrack blue B-sides and flavors of pie.
Ooh.
This is the far shore, right? Like
This is the far shore. In fact, let me just look around really briefly and then I'm gonna get you to translate something for me.
Uh-huh.
No eyes over here. Praying in the far shore. Using the Holy Cross in the far shore.
I mean, we could put in the golden path here. That's true, Kodra.
We have so
Please
much.
lurk.
We have so much forbidden knowledge.
I don't want to spoil you.
Okay, get ready. You ready? The far shore has a some subtext.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it's relevant.
The far shore, the... Let me grab the screenshot. The space that is not here nor there.
Do you fear the eyes of the far shore? Or Co, do you fear the eyes of the far shore?
There was also like a chest out.
Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Do you fear them? Do you fear them? For sure.
For sure.
For sure, my dudes.
Right, here we come back to the idea that there is an accent. Can you go farther? You're in the chest. Coda. Okay. That's what I thought, but then I thought I might have been like remembering backwards what you said.
This is the rooted ziggurat, right?
Yeah. Do you fear the eyes of the far shore?
Sha. Sha.
Far shore.
The far sha.
The eyes. Okay, maybe you're right about the path. That blue tiling has been significant before in the West Garden. You put in a thingy. But like, so much of it is just solid blue that, like, I don't know how else to read it. You know, like there is some patterning, especially like over here, but also like they could have just been like tiles that fell off because it's in ruin.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. These statues have eyes, but they're not especially prominent. There might be something in the air arena, because we haven't really looked around in the air arena.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Let's go take a peek.
Don't talk to her.
It does. It's kind of like the tower a little bit.
It is similar. Thank you for the lurk, Coda.
I don't.
Like again, there's the blue tiling, but it looks just like a pattern. You know, I mean, it looks just like an aesthetic pattern.
Unless the 3 hexagons, like the 3 keys, are like the 3 eyes of the squid creatures.
Okay. You want to try like putting in the golden path here? But like, I find it odd that like the only reason why we're able to interact with this area at all is because we have already like done the end of the game, you know? Like it would suggest that like it's not actually possible to do this until you reload your file, you know?
Let's find out what happens when we do this. We wanted to do this anyway, and maybe this will give us a nugget of information of some kind.
Well, maybe the thing that you were supposed to do to choose to fight her was, like, smack smack?
Oh, like proactive violence?
Yeah. See? Like,
Whoops. I accidentally did a kindness. We're stuck.
yep.
It's a stuck scene. Yeah, crap, I got the good ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so I wanted to talk lore. Like, overall theory. So, I'm thinking that, you know how there's like the souls of the foxes being like boxed up in the things and used to like power everything?
Mm-hmm.
This cycle has been going on endlessly, right? So I think that possibly what is that only gives the option in New Game Plus. So possibly what I think is that like this cycle that's been going on and on, right? Like the Ruin Seeker fights the heir and takes the heir's place, and the heir becomes a soul that gets like boxed into the thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's been going on and on and on and on and on for, you know, tens of thousands of years. And that's why there are so many, you know?
Yeah.
But the only thing that kind of throws that off is that, like, when you go down there, there's like a conveyor belt. Like it's just like one after the other, after the other, after the other. You know, it's not like one is being created every like however many years it takes for a rune seeker to come, you know?
Thank you, Crystal. Although it should be the cursed Wooloo Wooloo, since we did it wrong. Woodoo 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 woodoo.
The end.
Miss Ray has redeemed brag time. Who's got brags?
I have a secret brag that you can ask me about tomorrow.
That's just teasing.
Go to load.
So the star means New Game Plus?
Yeah.
So we want
So
file
6.
1 and
Yep.
file 6?
Yeah. Misery Beat Mother and unlocked Hell Temple.
Yes.
Ooh.
Are you gonna do Hell Temple? I was too much of a coward. I was too chicken.
Okay, what does ko mean?
Co.
Maybe the circle before that means like, okay.
Alright, but that doesn't
Like,
help.
do you fear the eyes of the far shore? Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Is there something we're supposed to be doing from this? Like, or is that just, that's just, you just get that? I'll thank you for the follow, Dave Squatch. That's just, you know, you got the secret message, Easter egg, good for you. The end, you know?
Yeah, maybe the circle does mean something other than period. Maybe it means there's an action to perform.
There is an action to perform.
Like, how clever would it be if this sentence could like be read backwards or read with the symbols inverted or something? Like odd, oi.
Well, ood, right? Because do. Ood, ooy.
Ear. Ood, oi, ear.
I don't think that's it.
Ooh, it's time for a quote quiz. Alright, you can use !answer to answer some questions about quotes that have happened in this channel and win some pepper money. The first question is, who said this? There are roads? There are roads.
If you don't know the answer, feel free to copy someone else's answer. And if you want to do better on future quote quizzes, the Pepperbot carousel that shows up at the bottom of stream cycles through quotes. And you can learn from them and memorize.
Or you can just answer randomly. There's no penalty for a
Yep.
wrong answer.
Usually the answer is Dama or Alex. There are a few exceptions.
Just last week, the answer was Calumet. Misery and Harel get it right. It was Alex. Alright, second question. What game is this quote from? I will eat a peppercorn for $3.
Oh, I did say that.
Answer, and then the name of the game, the name of the Twitch category that we were playing when Dama said, I will eat a peppercorn for $3.
It's impossible to know for the game for this case because we were obviously talking about something else.
It's
You
not
would just have to
impossible if you remember it, because I do. You can always guess.
You could just guess based on, like, games, like the time played. Odds are it's Spin Rhythm or Celeste. Just Rhythm XD.
I will eat a peppercorn for $3. Nobody
It was
answered
Kena,
creative.
Bridge of Spirits. What word is missing from this quote? I will not judge you if you decide to eat a blank stale Oreo.
Exclamation mark answer, and then the one word that was removed from this sentence. I will not judge you if you decide to eat a ancient stale Oreo.
A double stale Oreo?
A double stale Oreo. A crushed stale Oreo. A chocolatey stale Oreo. A nice different spread of answers. I like it. Moldy.
I would judge you.
You would judge someone if they decided to eat a
moldy stale Oreo? A stale Oreo? Okay, whatever. That's just like you don't enjoy it as much. It's not actively bad for you. A hairy!
A somewhat stale Oreo. I will not judge you if you decide to eat a somewhat stale Oreo. However, if you eat a double stale Oreo, a crushed stale Oreo, a chocolatey stale Oreo, a moldy stale Oreo, a hairy stale Oreo, a peppered stale Oreo,
we judge.
We will judge.
Okay, there is an action to be taken.
The eyes of the far shore.
Do you fear the eyes of the far shore? Circle. Co.
Well, in the past there have been abbreviated words for actions like no, where, so,
yeah,
e,
that's true.
Le, rai, up, and do.
Yeah.
Could co be abbreviated for something?
Like what?
Conan. Cobra.
Fasho.
Get good!
Fosho. Oh my god. How many people in the world would understand the joke if we did the love rap with the text boxes replaced with Fosho, like in the Tunic language?
In Tunic language? Yeah, like a very
Fosho,
small number.
Fosho! I kind of enjoy jokes
for a very niche audience
that like require like a very specific overlap. And to you, yeah, we could do that one too. It's a specific subset, and now I need to see it. Maybe we bring back Damage Draws this weekend.
Oh, I hope so.
Okay, what could we do? Let's think. Like, I think that. What are the eyes of the far shore? There are these fox statues. Do you have to offer something to them? No. We don't have anything to offer anyway. We could try going into the actual temple, like the gold temple in the real world. I don't know. Let's look at the plaque again. The 3 keys, yeah. Can you take them? Those are foxes. You are fox, therefore the foxes are eyes. let's look at the manual again about things to do with the far shore. Because it has shown up a few times in text. This says the far shore. Is there something here?
So this up here, it says this the Shadow Oubliette.
Yeah.
What's this? Right below the Shadow Oubliette.
Oh, that's a good question.
There are some symbols in there, but they're super messed up.
Yeah, I'm gonna see. Let me take a look.
I think they are read radially from the middle.
Are they?
Well, look where the dot is. On the bottom right symbol.
Yeah, you're right. Okay.
So this is potentially 6 symbols read radially.
Well, this seems important. Whatever it is. I never noticed it before. Hmm. Oh, that's the other way.
Yeah, I really like how there's kind of more interesting ways to kind of typeset or like arrange the letters rather than just having them in a straight line.
A key is no mere
Toy.
Yeah, we've seen that before.
Hey, test. A key is no mere toy.
These kind of look like eyes.
It's pushing it.
Well, like, it says, do you fear the eyes of the far shore? And then it shows you the circle.
Okay, that's...
Right? And then co. Let me just write down the Shadow Oubliette. Like, what is Oubliette?
Hey, Cookie, any progress? Yes. Some progress. We have, we received a message from the 12 gods. By unsinging them the song, they told us, do you fear the eyes of the far shore? Co. We don't know what co means.
So, with the eyes there, this says oubliette. Without them, it says, boo, li,
ta, bulita, bulita, bulita your save file. You got to bulita it.
Is that the scales? Do, re, mi? There's no ko, right?
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. There's do, but not ko. Tested a 100+ word per minute typing test today for the first time.
Nice.
Very nice.
Have you been working on it? Bill says, wait, this game has puzzles.
No, we've just been making it up.
Cookie, I am curious what you saw in some other stream that gave you some idea to suggest for this. Because that's, Cookie mentioned having some idea to try.
Dual Names has redeemed the Forbidden Crunch. In ignorance, not knowing what the redeem is. Wow. Dual, you're in for a treat.
Cookie says go to the inventory screen. What is that button?
Tab. Is there a co in here? This is the whoa.
At the top it says bits. And then it says
the Forbidden Crunch.
Do you mean the map screen, the manual?
And there's also a drink that's redeemed from Drogon. Hi, Drogon.
This is empty. Will you fill it up?
Yeah, I'm suffering here a little bit.
Careful, you got headphones on. This says something about the far shore also. Understanding the strange effects of the far shore. This talks about the fact that we don't get our stats and that we can get them back from the hero's grave. Seek the... Oh, seek the candle and...
If you add a circle to ko, you get oak. Oak like the tree.
A jumble of icons at the top of the map screen you were on look like...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's... Where did it go? Yeah, these are the same types of symbols. This says the Shadow Oubliette.
Yeah, I can read the language. The problem was that when we were not putting in the correct inputs on the screen with the tower, it wasn't giving us symbols that made sense. We have something to do, but it's not clear what. Maybe the hero's grave also counts as being in the far shore. I was in the middle of translating this part again.
Yeah, we could go with...
It says, pray to visit the hero's grave and claim your, heroic past. Good night, Bill.
Good night, Bill.
Bill said, okay, it's actually super late and I need to go to bed, but I want to jump in and say that I'm glad that Lex is back.
Oh, thanks, Bill. Glad to be back. Where's the nearest hero's grave?
The forest, maybe? No, this is the fortress.
Secrets?
I still don't know what to interpret ko to mean.
Oops, wrong way.
Did I read it wrong? Was it key instead? Was that actually key? This is a real question. Did I miswrite? Did I write that down wrong? I read it right, okay.
Wait, does this say anything interesting?
Pray to visit their grave.
The hero's grave, I think it just said.
Mm. Cookie asks Alex, how was the trip? Did you get to toast s'mores by firelight and play a lot of freeze tag?
That
You stuck?
No, I'm fine. It was a good trip. It was really nice to see my coworkers again. We didn't play freeze tag, nor did we toast s'mores, but it was a good trip nonetheless. I'd never been to Austin before. Austin's cool. I mean, it was like swelteringly, destroyingly hot, but seems like a hip place.
What does co mean? Okay, is the circle in that sentence something other than just
A period.
denoting when the sentence ends? It is something special. Yeah, that's a real question.
It's definitely something special.
Cookie says, I must have really misunderstood the nature of the trip. Was there really no shoe kick? No 6 a.m. hike? You did go kayaking.
We went kayaking. We did some urban hiking.
Like, the eyes do look like the 3 hexagons.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So...
Ooh, Glow's ready for a big redeem.
Like a game redeem?
We're always ready. If it's not on cooldown, we're ready.
I think there's just one... There's like 2 things in the queue, and both of them I need to figure out how to make it happen.
So circle at the bottom of a word means reverse the consonant and vowel.
Mm-hmm.
A circle at the bottom of a sentence.
Sure far the of eyes the fear you do.
Ooh, Glow has redeemed. Pick a new game. Vision Soft Reset. I have not heard of this one. Do you want to say something about it, Glow, or should we just put it on the queue, put it on the list, and go in totally blind? What do you think? Does this circle mean to reverse something else? Ood oi irf eth
Sigh. No, zai.
Zai
Fa. Fa.
Fa
F.
It's the kind of
Arf.
Metroidvania you're like, all right,
Orsh.
sweet.
Oak. Oak.
Oak. Oak. Is there a tree? Is there a prominent oak tree somewhere?
If this were just supposed to be oak, why would it not just be on there?
I don't know.
Like, this one just could be blank and this could be oak, right? Like, if it's just to do with that one word.
Kofar, Farko. Do you fear the eyes of the far shore? Ko. So there's these, do you see up at the top of the door, there's like a hexagon with a thing on the top?
Yeah.
And there's another one kind of floating in space over here, and another one floating in space down here.
Yes, I see them, but I don't know what to do about them because you can't, like, get to them.
Are they eyes?
Dave, as much as I feel weird now that I got to the next step, immediately I'm re-examining where I went wrong. I'm like, no, see, this always happens to me, though. Whenever I'm stuck on a puzzle, like, the next step is always, like,
The hard one.
I'm immediately dead-ended because I just can't, like... Does our fox have a different animation while the game is paused?
You can't pause this game, I don't think.
Well, there's this screen.
That's true.
I don't know if it's actually paused. Ms. Roy says, would you like another nudge to break the inertia? Well, the thing that I'm contemplating right now is to, remove the, like, I vowel tick from all the words. And see if it says something else, but, like, that doesn't seem likely.
The I vowel? Why the I vowel?
Because the eyes.
Oh, do you fear the eyes?
But that just becomes, like... That just changes all the vowel sounds, right? It doesn't... You want a nudge?
Sure.
Sure.
Shore.
Sure.
The far shore. Take that. The far shore.
Can you get onto these? Whoever said this was a sentence? Well, it's a question.
I mean...
Do you fear the eyes of the far shore?
What? Well, okay, so if it wasn't a sentence, what would it be?
Like, is that just supposed to be, like, question mark? If I put in what looks like a question mark, this is up. Like, literally, if I draw, if I make that a question mark, it says up. I mean, I noticed that the word up looks like a question mark. I don't know. But like, what does that even mean? Like, up.
Upco.
What's upco?
Not much. What's upco with you? Can you imagine if this entire game, all of the layers and layers of puzzle was all one enormous setup for an up dog joke?
Yeah.
What's up dog?
Whoever said this was a sentence? Well, okay, it could be a question, but a question is still like an interrogative question. Mad respect for the designer if that were true.
Do you fear the eyes
of the far shore? Okay, here's my question. Do we have to go back to the Tower of Glyphs and do something there?
Of the far shore circle.
No, you don't. Okay. Are we in the right place to do a thing?
Well,
the far shore.
It'll be once we know what to do, it'll be obvious what to do. Like once we know what to do, we'll know what to do, right?
Well, I don't know.
Well, at the moment.
You would say no.
Yeah. We have to figure out what we have to do before we know what to do. What could it be other than a sentence? Do you fear the eyes of the far shore?
Dave would say yes. What the? Once you know what to do,
yeah, I would focus. I would not focus on the where. I would focus on the what. Do you fear the eyes of the far shore?
Okay,
.co.
But like maybe there's somewhere in the game that there are literal eyes, and we just forgot.
Can you, I have another dumb idea.
Okay, what's your dumb idea?
Can you open up a browser window and type in "Do you fear the eyes of the far shore.co"?
What the hell? One second. Give me a moment. Where?
Welcome to the ARG portion of Tunic.
Congratulations, you finished the tutorial.
It looks like there's supposed to be audio, but I'm not hearing anything.
Oh, I probably have the tab muted. Where did it go?
Did you just close it?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. No, I didn't. The window capture is still there. No.
Oh, there it goes.
Dave's question says, this is as far as I took it and decided that if there's more to solve, I'm not going to find it. Haral says, at this point, there is maybe one puzzle you could be expected to solve on your own, but realistically, it's a good time to transition to a free-for-all.
Yeah, this is where it gets like ARG community solve style.
Yeah, yeah, unless people like actually know what to do from here, I'm willing to hear anyone's ideas. Mighty Krizo!
Hi.
Hello! The solution was to imagine it as the other side of... So, like, a lot of the puzzles that we had to put the codes in for were, like, 2 doors, where one side was mirrored from the other side. So we had tried inverting all the inputs, but we hadn't tried just a left-right mirror of the golden path. So we had to put that in. This looks like a sound spectrograph puzzle. Hi, TCP. You have to recap on the VOD. Yeah, we wandered around for a bit, and now we are in an ARG. Can we capture sound and put it in SoundHound/Kazaa? I can record it on Audacity, I think.
And then spectrograph it. Or else it's a spectrograph puzzle that teaches you to read phonemes from music in general.
No, you're trolling.
And now the entire soundtrack is encoding a secret message.
No.
Yeah, you could just grab the audio. You don't have to record it in this. You can grab the sound from the website.
What do you mean I can grab it?
Go back to the source. Or go to the browser tools or whatever. It's this a.mp3. Oh gosh, you got multiple of them overlapping.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Do you all know about Phonopath? Nope.
Give me a second. I need another window capture.
Phonopath is a puzzle game for audio engineers. It's insane. I'm intrigued. Harold's thing for later about meditation is that no one can figure out if meditation encodes Tunic or if it's just a matching key with the music. Oh my gosh. Do you know how to do this? Cause I don't know how to do this.
I don't know how I'm supposed to read this.
We have to like go to spectrograph view if that's a thing.
We can zoom in. I don't know. I don't know. This is not it. There's a way to show spectrograph. Let me figure it out for you and tell you. Okay, yeah, that's a welcome back seating.
So this is the spectrograph for the entire clip. I think you probably want to select each node individually. Like this is nothing, but like this is a note, you see, where it gets loud. Not obvious. I mean, there's a spike at, where does that, like 300 hertz? But like, I don't know how to do this.
On the audio track itself on the left should be a drop down. Oh, yeah, okay. Spectrogram. Fudge with the options a bit. Spectrogram settings. Wait, oh, we accidentally switched. Hang on, sorry. The hotkey to zoom in was also the hotkey to switch to main cam. You might also get something if you separate the left and right, invert the phase of one of them, and sum them together.
I feel a little out of my depth.
Okay, so wait, if I do like, if I move this all the way to the left? No. Wait, is the top, the bottom, the left and right? They look the same to me.
They're not identical.
Hello, remember when we were listening to the wind chimes puzzle and we were like, is there a hard of hearing accessibility option for this puzzle? Top is left, bottom is right, but they look the same.
They're not identical, there's differences.
Okay. So invert the phase? Do I invert? What is?
You have to modulate the phase variance, and then
Try moving the slider.
you gotta frog blast the vent cord.
Each note has a low and high pitch. I wonder if they are the letters. Yeah, I can hear that, but I don't know how to. So you're thinking that the low pitch is like either the consonant or the vowel, and the high pitch is the other one? You post a link to that audio clip. It is Do You Fear the Eyes of the Far Shore.co. With the right spectrograph settings, you will visibly see runes. Okay, spectrogram settings. I don't know what to change though. Algorithm. Pitch? Don't click that link. The other link. Duel's link. Whoever says my apologies to Kevin, but I absolutely gave up at the sound puzzles. Kevin, are you still there? I'm sorry for butchering your puzzle. I don't know how to do this. Reassignment. I mean, like, I see some, like, horizontal lines in some places. I knew immediately to go to the source code because I played Not Prawn when I was, like, 15 or something.
Because that's how ARGs
That's
work.
how it works. Swap stereo channels?
It just reverses, just swaps them. Split stereo track. Okay, great. Now we have 2 tracks.
Yeah.
Don't ask me how to add them together.
The MP3, just click on it. TCP. Sampling rate and the frequency range and the scaling / zoom. Yeah, I figured that the zoom, because like, well, this is playback speed. Okay, let's just put that back to default. And then we'll change. Sampling rate.
You could also try it with a log scale, maybe? Yeah, I feel like I don't know enough about...
I mean, like, I can see some vertical lines that, like, probably are the necessary sides. Okay, so you said mess with the sampling rate, but I don't know. Here, I will also make a new window capture for the settings, because I'm not seeing that. You know what? You know what? Let me just. 1 second. There we go. So this is a display capture. Okay, so...
It's really small, though.
What? Yeah, it's pretty small. I can't, like... Doesn't help. Grayscale, maybe? Might make some things easier to read if we get it right. You know?
Mm-hmm. Possibly.
I changed...
Like each of these, you can see how it's like broken into notes.
Yes.
Each of them's got to be a glyph, right? If...
Yes, but what? The frequency range? Okay, so the minimum to maximum, but I don't know what would be reasonable.
Well, just try increasing the range. Go from 0 to 20,000. Just see.
Okay, it looks like it stops at like 15,000, right?
Yeah.
Oh, this changed. Okay, this shows you what settings to use. Okay. Most narrowband, metal scale, 1 to 500. Like, how would you know to do this?
Well, you would have to kind of know what you're looking at a little bit.
How? How the fuck? And this is the same. Okay. Those are settings that work, not the only settings that work. TCP, Harold gave me a link with, like, the correct settings to use in Audacity because, like, I'm basically just, like, brute forcing it. Like, you know. Let's turn off grayscale, see if that looks... Yeah, that's even harder to see. So, like, grayscale actually does help quite a bit. And then, so, if we start that higher... Yeah, that's better. A little bit. Let me... So it's like 200 to 500 using the metal scale. Gets you the glyphs.
So what does it say?
It says... Okay, this is a new page in the notebook.
A new page in history.
That says, we are the...
Yeah, those settings are for the spectrograph view, that's right.
eyes of the here, I'm gonna... That's better. Hidden text message in a music file. Using glyphs from another...
Yeah, it's not even text, it's like...
It's artificial... Oh my god.
It's Tunic, it's Tunic language, hidden inside a text file.
The notes that you hear over each rune musically encode that rune, and you can now decode runes from the game soundtrack. I do own one file from the soundtrack, so I can try opening that up. Okay. This says we are the eyes of the foreshore.
Oh my god, the two big bells. If you decode them in terms of music glyphs, they say ding dong when you activate them and hear me afterwards.
Okay, as cool as this is, the sound, I need to not hear it for a while.
Well, then you should turn it off.
Why?
Well, you should turn off the sound if you don't want to hear it anymore.
I did. I muted the site. Let me grab the file that I do have. New.
It looks like the creature from Stranger Things, yeah. You're still
I know.
just like sharing. Okay, just making sure you know.
Yeah, let me just turn it off for a second so I can just pull it in. I don't know. I don't have anything to hide, but you know, my files are just disorganized.
Yeah, no one's gonna care about all the clown porn. It's fine. No one's judgmental here.
Um, what was it called?
Not showing the One Piece stash.
Hang on, I have to find. Right. Wait, this is the same. Oh, did I just go to the wrong? Here it is. That's weird. What's going on? This is just taking me back to the other one. This is back on A. Why does it keep moving me? Okay, I'm gonna close the other window.
Right, but the glyphs aren't going to show up here. They're like tied to the. You have to. There's a correspondence
Oh
between
my
the
god,
notes.
what? Are you kidding me?
The squid here is teaching you the correspondence between the notes and the glyphs.
But that just teaches me like 5 different glyphs or something. That teaches me like not 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That teaches me 8 words.
Yeah, trick only works on you don't get visual runes for the rest.
Why? How? So it's the notes? I feel like
I mean,
you're trolling me.
No, I believe like each glyph was made up of several notes played on top of each other, right? Like they were chords.
You get to see a frowny face if you do a spectrogram on the foxes getting put in boxes. Oh my god. Do they reuse the same runes for new meaning for the audio puzzles? Well, like, I don't get it because, like, this only teaches me very few things. Like, this just teaches me...
Like, do you still have the spectrograph for A?
I can grab it. Where'd it go? Oh, I put it on the desktop. Hey.
But start at 1 rather than 200.
Why? Oh,
so you can see stuff other than the runes. Right, because you can see what the notes are here, below each rune.
I cannot interpret this. Like, I cannot read that. The progression of a whole step followed by 2 whole steps is D? What? Well, what do you mean D? None of these words are D. Yeah, I know, but there isn't a consonant D here at all. Listen to the song and see what play. Well, let's turn down. I'm completely out of my depth with this kind of audio puzzle, Kala, so I don't mind so much. This isn't do. There's we are the eyes of the far shore. There is no do in here. So the consonant is the low notes sequence, and the vowel is the high note sequence? But I don't understand because, like, the soundtrack is music, like, songs, right? So, like, unless every single song was restricted to what it would need to be in order to make a sentence, like, that's not going to result in music. Like, that's going to be, like, just notes, you know, like this is. Right?
Well, you could work these progressions into songs, right?
To the point that every track tells you something? Like, that just seems insane. Well, that also means that, like, the composer is separate from, like, the sound design, right? Like, so, like, how?
But you can kind of tell, like, for example, the notes made by the bells, they're kind of like, they sound a little random, right? And I guess this is why, because they're like these sequences which represent glyphs. Right? Like if you go stand next to a bell, you'll notice that it's making a you know? You know what I'm talking about?
Does that mean the wind chimes are a phrase? The wind chimes. That we already have the, like, up, up, up.
Possibly, but, like, there's so few notes that I would be surprised.
Do the fairy seeking song, and you'll hear little trills. Yeah, but, like, you can't just memorize them. Like, I'm confused as to how to actually make progress with this. Like,
it would be a lot of work. You'd have to, like, break these up and, like, look at what each of the sequences are and find out which sequences are common to which letters, which have common...
You're telling me, like, that you want me to look at the lines on the other song?
No.
What?
I'm saying you would have to look at the A sequence to learn what those vowels and consonant sequences are. And once you know them, then you'd be able to find them in music.
I don't understand. Huh. What?
Your program crashed.
What?
It crashed while trying to crash.
Oh, I see. Audacity crashed.
Yes. And then it crashed while trying to crash. So it double crashed.
Uh-huh.
I'm not suggesting we do it. It's an immense amount of work.
But what if there's more puzzles?
But I think this is what people are saying. It's like now we've delved into ARG territory where it's like not feasible for someone to kind of do it on their own. But you see the note sequences, right?
I see that there are lines that depict distinct notes.
Yes.
But I don't know how to interpret what those notes are from looking at those lines and what they would sound like in a different song.
Well, you can see what frequency they are because there's a frequency graph. There's a frequency scale.
But there's a whole bunch of frequencies as part of this one.
Yeah, because it's a chord. There's like a whole bunch of notes played at once. Oh, the fairy chirping. All the fairy chirping is words in the audio language.
You couldn't look at them and know. You must listen.
Well, you can look at them and know because there's a frequency scale, and
You're telling me the songs like in the music, like the soundtrack, or are you talking about like the little tones that play when you do like Holy Cross puzzles? The mountain door plays Tunic. When you open it, it says share your wisdom. Mighty Cruz asks, have you completed game, the final boss?
Nope.
No.
we should do that.
We did complete the game like in the good ending, which involves not fighting the final boss. So we have never actually done the final boss fight. Okay, Kala. Go for it. I think I know when to admit defeat.
I don't think this is defeat. I think this
Short
is just...
musical phrases correspond to words, if I'm understanding this correctly. Okay, so TCP, it's not that they necessarily correspond to words. A certain progression of the low note corresponds to what consonant is used, and a certain progression of the high note corresponds to what vowel is used. And if that is like descending instead of ascending, then that means that the vowel comes before the consonant, vice versa, at a place of diminishing returns. The fairy seeking spell is the easiest example. Okay, well, let's just... I mean, let's turn off the game music. Like, wait, so does the game music... Like, this music... Oh, let me fix... You don't need the display capture anymore. No, TCP, the vowels are the outer part of the hexagon and the consonants are the interior stuff.
So if we turn off the music and the ambience.
Well, you turned down the master music.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did! Like, how can a person listen to that and know what that says? Like, no human can do that.
Well, you would record it, and then you would write down the sequence of notes, and then you would compare it to the sequence of notes that you wrote down from your other thing, and you would find the common, you know.
So, if I make a new thing and I do record... No, this is recording from the mic. I don't want it to record from the mic. How do I have it record the computer audio?
I don't know.
Well,
there are little messages throughout the sound design. Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, the intervals.
So does the praying tones say something? Because, like, in theory, they could have had different notes. Like, they could have had a choice.
I think maybe Harold was saying that earlier, that people haven't figured that out yet. They don't know whether the praying tones just harmonize with the music or whether there's messages in it. No one has decoded anything for their prayer noises.
Okay. So... I don't think I have the know-how to do it. I think that's, like, I keep an eye on what other people have found.
It's like Inscription, right? Like, there's the puzzles in the game, and then, like, you hit a point where it turns into, like, more of a community...
Inscription? What do you mean it's like Inscription? What did community solve? There was, like, those little clips of stuff in the video files, but that was easily solvable by one person.
No, there was all of the cipher files that you had to...
The old data things?
Where you had to, like, go through and find all of the answers to the various different ciphers and then plug them into the console to, like, decode the file in different ways.
I didn't look into this. You must have read about it and not talked to me about it.
Yeah, it's like a whole rabbit hole of, like, ARG stuff that no one person would ever be able to figure out on their own.
Well, do you want to turbo the boss on our other file?
On the New Game Plus?
Yeah. We can either do New Game Plus or continue the one that you started from scratch.
Sure.
New Game Plus is probably going to be easier because you have stuff, you know. Well, do you want to play that then?
Sure.
Okay. Just harmonizing with the music actually be a way of saying there's more than one translation for this phrase. Well, no. So the praying, when you pray in the game, it makes these tones, like slow tones. We did look at No Game Plus, but we quit it because
Oops. Oh gosh.
Because it's we still had the full manual, so we were like, how is this gonna help? File up. That one I think you did a little bit in.
Drink this, posture check, and stretch. Thank you, Drogon. Ooh, ooh.
Posture check.
Okay, so where are we?
And a stretch.
We don't have any keys. We have to go get the keys. But we do have the hook shot. And do we have the teleporters active?
The ones that are turned on. Right?
Okay. Got it.
You might be able to get to the fortress really fast, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
And remember, you can use enemies if you freeze and shoot, you know, and then you can hook shot to them. So, like, you could get up there using that enemy, possibly, that comes to the edge. Right, like, you can't get up here, but maybe there's some...
I could just open the shortcut. Oh,
You have to ring the bells to get that to open.
ring the bells, okay.
Wait, no. Yeah, that's right.
Did I already ring the east bell?
No. On your other file, I think you did, but not on the New Game Plus file.
Do I have a key?
No.
Okay, so we've gotta go get a key.
Yeah, it was very much appreciated. Everybody was good about not giving away too much information.
No, yeah, I really appreciate the guidance, the hints, the nudges.
Oh, Adagon is reading Brag Time.
Yeah, let's do some brags. Who has stuff to brag about?
I feel like the interpretations of how to manipulate the path that I was thinking of weren't that far off of what was actually expected of me. Like to go from the inside and reverse the inputs.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Like I just didn't think about like mirroring it just left right. You know?
Mm-hmm. Got full netherite armor with mending. Nice. And thank you, Hurl, for saying that we did a good job with the glyph tower. I think we did. I'm pretty proud of.
This is Flaming Sword, isn't it?
I forget what this is. This might be Mr. Mayor. I see a door and I open it. I don't know.
This is Mr. Mayor.
Reflect on what you know about Holy Cross puzzles. It's a good clue. Wait, who's that? What? That's one of the cathedral dudes. What are they doing here? Is this a new Game Plus thing where like advanced enemies show up?
Weird. Oh, don't smash these. There's an achievement for not smashing them.
This looks like it's a... is it just the lighting? It looked like it was different.
No, it's just the lighting. We could do this one, but it just gets us a fairy. Is there any benefit for doing the like secret puzzles in New Game Plus? Like to get the treasures and the fairies? The fairies give you, like, we already have the full manual, so like, you know. Besides getting to Glyph Tower Plus, gives us a different website. Pages and secret treasure transfer over. Well, then why did we find Mr. Mayor in that chest? We have two Mr. Mayors now?
Mr. and Mr. Mayor.
Mr. and Mr. Mayor.
Can we level up our stuff past
Yeah.
past maximum or
Remember
past?
the one in the maze has like 8 on everything. Find copies of everything. Mystery says that website is actually just a Rickroll, and that Rickroll has runes in its spectrograph. How would you have felt if you solve the glyph tower and you go to the website and you do the spectrograph thing and the runes are never gonna like how do I am shocked. A little shocked that they didn't take the opportunity.
It just says up dog.
It would be amazing.
Wait, that chest has a stick in it? Why?
Callus says, you know, the cool thing, it means that all words are songs. That's true. It makes more sense to me to do, like, the other way. You know, like, to have a phrase translated into the music that it makes. And find some, like, and have that sound cool or whatever.
But wait, do I need to do this whole area in order to get all the upgrades?
Well, do you want them?
I don't know, do I?
That's up to you.
Ooh, Sergeant Pepper brags that they have a black belt. In what? Or just like a belt that is black in color.
Trying to figure out how to rickroll someone into knee. Excellent. Yeah, Drogon, that's not a surprise. That's exactly it. That is. Like, at some point, does this make a second row? Oh, this is harder. Look, there's more enemies here.
No,
Nice!
No, there aren't.
You just walk in with your fucking shotgun. Wait, is it even adding? We have 10. I didn't think it added anymore. Yeah, Drogon, that is. Shall we listen?
Yeah, listen carefully.
You can get obnoxious amounts of upgrades to the point that the UI clutters the screen.
Like, it's clearly saying something. These are not notes that are just chosen for their, you know, the way they sound. These intervals.
But I can't like separate out the low one from the high one. The high one is very high, and I don't know if my hearing is bad, but like that, I can hear the low intervals clearly, but the high notes. So like possibly I could get an H and an M out of that, but I don't think I could have gotten the ear and the E out of that. Well, I don't think you don't need perfect pitch to, you can have perfect relative pitch, where you can always tell the distance. Like I can accurately listen to an interval and tell you what the interval is, but I can't tell you if you play me a note. I can't tell you what the note is unless it's like if I have been singing a lot, like if I have actually been practicing singing, then I can work it out, because like I'll know what certain notes feel like to sing. And then I can be like, okay, the note that you played is this interval from this note that I can sing, and therefore it is this note. But I can't just like listen and know. But I can tell you, like, you know, that's a minor sixth, or that kind of thing. What vocal part are you guys? I can sing alto or soprano. Goat.
I don't know what my range is. I've never sung formally enough to know.
Alto is my comfortable range, though. Like, I feel better singing it. I have to be more in practice to be able to sing soprano in a way that sounds decent.
There's just a manual page in here, I believe. And a not, because we already have it.
Tunic is often too fast to understand unless you A, slow it down, and B, write it down.
What is that?
Ooh, that looks like one of the guardians that you fought in the library.
They're just hanging out in the overworld, huh?
Guess so. Dead. So what I wonder about the tuning forks, they also harmonize with the music, but they could harmonize in various ways, right?
Yep. It's possible.
So they could say something.
It is possible.
Nope. Oh yeah, it's this way, okay. Why are altos always exhausted? Because they're carrying the rest of the damn choir. I enjoyed singing alto in high school choir. More than I think I would have enjoyed singing in the soprano section. Even though... So this fairy should say something? Yeah. What does it say? Yeah, I mean, I would have to just be like recording my computer audio and then slow it down.
We can go to Rune Tower Plus. You know, do whatever.
Mm-hmm. But I think like singing the harmony in general was more interesting to me. Like singing the lower harmony was more interesting to me than singing the melody, which is what the sopranos almost always did. What? Oh, there was maybe a page there?
Mm-hmm.
Want to upgrade your attack? What's on my piano music stand these days? Whatever I was working on 6 months ago when I stopped practicing. I have a Vienna Tang songbook from the Dreaming Through the Noise album. I have a giant red book about firefighters because someone gave it to my kids for Christmas one year when we were visiting my mom out of the country, and it was too big and heavy to fit in the luggage, and then the last time that she came to visit, she brought it with her, and I have not bothered to find a place for it. Cookie says, can we solve the ARG portion? We solved it, we got to the website and we read some runes from that audio file that was playing, and it said, we are the eyes of the far shore, and apparently also all the little, like, trilling music notes in the game for, like, various sound effects all say something. But they're beyond my ability, I think, to solve. DC, have you seen the Celeste piano question sheet music book before? I haven't, but I want one. I was thinking, the other day I was thinking to myself, these are tiny skeletons and they kicked your ass?
They hit so hard.
They're little baby skeletons. Where did they come from? I was thinking the other day that I should get some Celeste sheet music and get back into practice.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I pretty much stopped practicing when my wrists started getting messed up from playing too much Celeste on keyboard.
So now you can play too much Celeste
on keyboard. So now I
can
play too much Celeste on the other kind of keyboard. I'm worried about how out of practice I am, but also I know that, like, I was 15 years out of practice when I got back to playing better than I had ever played before, so, like, I know that with some work I can relearn whatever I've unlearned, but I really had to work very, very hard to be able to play the Chopin Nocturne that I had wanted to play for ages. And I feel like I will have to pretty much start from scratch with that again. So do the big skeletons hit not as hard as the baby skeletons?
I don't know, but the babies kicked my ass.
Cookie says, exactly how did Squid Song have runes in it? Yeah, so I downloaded the file, I opened it with Audacity, I changed the view to spectrogram view, and then I followed instructions on what settings to use for the spectrogram, like what frequency range, what type of scale, what the sampling rate was, because, like, I don't know anything about that, so I basically took that solution and put it in, and it made runes in the spectrogram. And they said, "We are the eyes of the far shore," and Harrell was saying that, or Harrell, please correct me. All the little, so you can learn from that certain intervals, like a sequence of intervals in the low tones, tell you the consonant, and the sequence of intervals in the high tones. Yeah, see, look at, hang on, go back. Look at this door. So the screenshot that we had taken made it really, really, really hard to see, but like, see, there is a recess.
Yeah.
It is a diamond here. But we had taken the screenshot like at night or something. So the way that the thing was shining on it made it like basically impossible to see that other line. So the thing that We Are the Eyes of the Far Shore is supposed to teach you like how to interpret those in general, and that all throughout the game, whenever there's like certain tones being played, it is actually a sequence of runes.
Did the store get restocked? Yep.
Okay, but the other one, don't, because we need to save up to afford the upgrades, which are going to get more and more expensive, I think. We don't need the 13th potion or whatever.
But what if we do?
Yeah, we had to manipulate the spectrograph by changing the settings. Yes, I didn't have to do anything to the audio. Is that Cap? Nope. So really you can't use the hookshot trick with freezing enemies to get places that you should not be able to normally get?
Oh, I'm sure you could if you had an enemy in the right place.
Excuse me.
No, my heart.
Can we get more card slots? By finding more coins? If it presumably is still like the triangular numbers, you know, progression. Dangerous as a family.
Not as dangerous as a shotgun.
You have to go up and lower the shortcut. So the bosses are probably saying things. Right? Like, if you turn off the music and you just listen to the sound effects, is it saying something?
It wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, I'll beat you with the power of friendship and this gun I found.
The background music says Ruin Seeker. But also the way the boss sounded. Yeah, no, I understand. But the way that the boss sounded, yeah, there are TCP. The way the boss sounded was kind of similar to like the screaming fox souls or the squid music.
Yeah, I agree.
So like maybe that one has an actual glyph in the audio, you know?
Yep, I think that's probably true.
The wind chimes just seem like a hilarious little puzzle to me now. Where it's like you have to listen to whether the notes go up or if they stay the same or if they go down. And that makes a sequence that you have to enter.
What a childish...
Like... Baby's first Tunic puzzle. There's something over here, I think, if you go over there, around. No? Nothing?
Nope.
Cookie says we're going to beat the King Demon Sky Squid only to realize it was imprisoning way worse stuff than Foxmon. That's gotta be it, right? Good night, Ms. Roy. Thank you again for all your little nudges. I don't know, TCP. I just have Audacity because it's free and it's good for what I usually need to do with audio files. If you want to, like, if you end up getting this game and you end up working on the audio puzzles, I would love to hear your progress. You can probably freeze this guy and go over there to unlock that shortcut.
Yeah, I can, or I can just unlock it the normal way. The freezing is finicky.
I'm your wife. I can backseat.
Yes, you can.
I'm telling you. Do the thing.
You're ordering me, but
Yeah.
I can just open it from over here. Just go.
there's a puzzle there.
See, I can just do it that way. You want me to do this puzzle? Wait, what is the solution to this one? We never used lures.
It's not powered. You're not praying. You opened it in RX and you could just zoom in to see the runes with the mouse wheel? What, really? But doesn't that just mean that the default settings in that one just happen to be the right settings? I'm confused. I can print this one too. These settings I was changing are equivalent to vertical zoom. Hey, Steven.
Hey, Steven.
We're doing New Game Plus.
I don't think we'll be able to finish New Game Plus this evening.
I mean, you're going pretty fast. And it just depends how tired you are, because you're taking the next couple days off, right?
I am, but
and the kids don't have school.
Yeah, but I got someone coming early tomorrow morning to start work on the...
The corner of the house?
Yeah.
Oh, what time?
Like 8:30, I think.
But why?
Because that's when they can come.
Steven, have you done any more in Tunic? Don't kill the babies.
No, I am gonna kill the babies. That's why I'm gonna kill the babies. The babies are a weapon. They're weaponized babies.
That makes sense, TCP. Cookie, there's some water damage at the exterior corner of our house, in a small area, hopefully a small area, because of like, the previous owners had like a flagpole holder that was like screwed in and not sufficiently protected. So like rainwater was getting in. We have this already. We're not working on puzzly stuff right now, Steven, so aside from like seeing the bridge over here, like environments and enemies and stuff, this shouldn't be too spoilery.
Yeah, that's a good upgrade. It's a good thing to find.
You're averting your eyes, okay. One of these has a shortcut that opens. The second one, I think. Has Alex played the Wendy's chart yet?
I play tested it. It was fun. Good chart. Good song. Good chart. I can tell that it was carefully crafted over a long period of time.
Oh no, the gift chart. I think that's what Steven meant. It's not a surprise. The birthday gift chart.
Oh, I thought you said the Wendy's chart.
No, that's what I just misinterpreted at first.
Oh, I haven't played the full diff, but I played. Did you change the XD at all since I played it?
Maybe slightly.
I have played a version of it.
That's fair, Steven. I gave her the option of telling me anything that she didn't like.
I said I hated it. Change everything. Everywhere you've got a beat, there should not be a beat. And everywhere there's not a beat, there should be a beat.
The beats are uninspired. What was that over there? An enemy. Oh, they saw you through the wall, apparently. Whole song is played with a beat hold. You can freeze him.
I don't actually. Well, I guess I do kind of want to be down there.
No, I meant the one across
Whoa.
on the top. Because doesn't that get you somewhere? You'd rather do that than just use this. You don't want to do the shoot and ice dagger
It's
thing?
so annoying to do.
Oh, you can't.
They have a shield.
So maybe the ice bombs are the right call? Nice. That's the dagger.
I don't have a weapon equipped.
You can't. It's not power.
Oh yeah.
I think you need to do this one though. Good luck, Cookie. Get some sleep. You don't want to put on the fast ice dagger thing?
No, I don't even want to be using the ice dagger at all. I just had to equip it for the last thing and haven't bothered to unequip it yet.
Grab the magic.
I'm literally about to touch a statue.
You got... I'm gonna grab a peanut butter cup.
No, go for it. Oh, this does not have power yet, even to it.
The hourglass.
Yeah, what about it?
Probably lets you slow down and listen to Tunic.
Oh, possibly. Is there any point to coming to this shrine yet? Put a quick video in the Discord. Cool, I'll check it out after stream. Thanks, TCP. Have a good night. Thanks for hanging out. Oh, that was for Cookie. Cool. Alright. Can't get rid of you that easily. I see. I see how it is. Here we go.
We already have the hook shot, so we can entirely skip Rod's domain.
Yes.
Not that. Not that silly.
Alright, what's the secret to Siege Engine? Shoot shotgun blasts up its butt?
Yeah. should probably just go rest.
Yeah, I will. I'm getting there.
Hmm?
I'm getting
Is
there.
there one inside there?
Yeah.
Good night, Anago.
Good night, Anago.
Have a good sleep.
Level 9 HP? Why not?
Change the potions into mana pots.
Yeah, that would require fiddling with my menus mid-combat.
I thought that was going to be your plan. To just have so much HP that you can ignore health potions and
Yeah, that would be
mana pot your way to victory.
that would be a strategy.
Ah. You have enough for one shotgun blast. Oh, you should have hit it one more time and then shotgunned it.
Boom. Giant enemy spider. It's a cool looking boss. A little bit easy with all these upgrades.
Easy, and still you almost died.
I didn't almost die. I had everything under control.
Got the hiccups. Yeah, that happens to me a lot, Attigo. I'll do that. Like, I'll be watching a stream, and I'll be like, okay, I gotta go to bed, and then I don't actually go to sleep.
Speaking of actually going to sleep, though, we should actually go to sleep.
Wait, so can you sleep in the bed? Like, now?
That's what I'm
No,
suggesting.
I mean in-game. No.
No.
Okay.
10 out of 10 joke. There's a joke of opportunity.
Well, Will is still on playing Sayonara Wild Hearts.
Oh, yes.
So let's go there. I thought you said you wanted to go to bed.
Yeah. I'm just getting back to the safe place. Where do you post the dumb link in the Discord? Anywhere you like. There's no rules. Discord is pure chaos. Follow your heart.
Will is doing a charity stream right now and is playing Sayonara Wild Hearts. So,
It's three
come
good
along.
reasons. 3 good reasons to be there.
And yeah, thank you all for hanging out. Thanks for the nudges. Thanks for the moral support during the puzzle that was stumping us for a long time. And yeah, we will be back tomorrow. I'm not sure if we're gonna do more New Game Plus Tunic or start on something else and occasionally come back to this or what. I do want to do the air though, and I think we can probably get to her in like one more stream.
Yeah, for sure.
So probably tomorrow will be more Tunic, and then Friday we'll do something else. All right. Have a good one, everyone. See you next time. Bye-bye.